Hi, you guys. I'm Phil Town from Rule 1 Investing. Today, we're going to talk about how to live off of one income. Man, the world has changed so much from when I was a kid. Back in the 50s, it was common for families in the United States to live off of one income. I mean, sometimes getting a paycheck only once a month. I mean, my family certainly did that, and we supplemented it. We lived out on a little farm. We supplemented it with, raising chickens. I raised, little calves when I was a kid. But we didn't have two incomes, and families did not necessarily have it easier than we have it today. It was just the normal way of doing things, and expectations were much different. We didn't have houses that were 3,500 square feet McMansions, right? We had a little house, we had one car, and we lived on one income. We rarely went out to a restaurant. I think it was a big deal to go out and get a hamburger, because I still remember to this day in a red plastic kind of a bowl thing. It's like woven, and there's this burger sitting on a piece of paper. It was like so exotic and amazing that was presented like that. It tasted so much better than a burger at home. So that's the way things were. We relied on cheaper means of getting information. We read a newspaper. TV was free, right? Although I got to tell you, what a color TV cost in 1960, about $800 in 1960 dollars. I think that's like buying one for $5,000 today. Anyway, having a full-time wife or mother at home, it meant there were no daycare costs. Most people would, hang dry their clothes on a line. I know we did. Mom put it out there, right? Using less electricity than we do today. We all know there are no cell phones out there, so we didn't have that sort of data plans to worry about. Man, I know times have changed a lot. We have all these things now, subscription services. We have multiple cars. We have expensive stuff. There's still a number of reasons, though, why a family in today's world may need to, or certainly may want to live off of one income. If you're in this situation and you're looking for ways to save more and still be able to invest for retirement, then here's some things you need to know. First, you need to make sure you've made a budget, and you've got to stick to it. Back when families got one paycheck a month, having a strict and clear budget was key. And that's no different than today. Making a budget, sticking to it is essential. The budget that you create should include three categories, I think. It should be essential expenses. These are bills that you got to pay and groceries. There should be money that you put aside that you're going to invest, pay yourself first. And then there should be non-essentials, such as maybe going on a vacation or entertainment. I mean, back in the day, I still to this day remember Dad taking us on a camping trip. My dad didn't know beans about camping, right? He just worked all the time. But he took us on a camping trip, and it was a great vacation. We didn't spend any money other than gas, and I think we bought all the food at a grocery store. You don't have to do things like go on gigantic cruise ships in order to be a great family having fun together. Just do it the old school way. Now, be as generous as possible when it comes to how much money you set aside for investing. That's the first thing. Be as frugal as possible when it comes to how much money you set aside for non-essentials. And then you're going to create a budget that'll actually enable you to meet your financial goals and set you and your family up for financial success. That's the key. Second, communication is important. In a single income family with one partner bringing in a regular paycheck, man, it's essential that both parties be involved in financial decisions. Communicating with your partner regularly about your finances, this is huge. It's going to help you keep track of your financial goals. Also, you're going to have a better relationship with your partner because you're doing it together. Many non-employed partners in the single income household often feel left out when it comes to finances. Here's a way you can do that. Whoever's the working person bringing in the money, the other person manages the money. That's a simple way, and it works. As with most things, two heads are much better than one when you're making important decisions. Keep an open line of communication with your spouse, your partner, regarding the finances of your household. Make sure you're both on the same page with what those plans are, particularly saving that money for retirement. That's where you're going to have pressure on that. Make sure you're on the same page with where you're trying to go. Third, keep your lifestyle in check. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, it's a ridiculous thing to do. Very real pitfall. Most people fall into it. It's a trap. and don't fall into it. Very few people can afford to do that, especially those who are living off of one income. You're just gonna have to move away and get around a different bunch of Joneses or something if you're gonna try to keep up with somebody. Keep up with somebody who's also living on a single income. If you wanna live comfortably off of one income while still setting aside money for retirement, you're gonna have to keep your lifestyle in check. And this doesn't mean that you never purchase anything that you might enjoy. What it means is you're gonna have to be picky about how you spend your money. You're gonna have to avoid throwing money away on all the latest and greatest. You're not gonna be running down to Walmart or some other place and buy stuff new. Buy it used. My first bike, I was 5 years old. I remember to this day, it cost $5 and I had to earn that $5. When I got the bike, I kind of had to put it together. It was a little bit of just had been sitting around in pieces in somebody's garage. These things are actually good for kids to do, all right? They help form values and they help keep more money in that kitty for your retirement. In reality, it's gonna make the things that you can spend your money on much more memorable. I still remember that bike to this day, which is why a lot of people from older generations can clearly remember, the fun days they went out, the vacations, why I remember that trip to the desert. It was a rare thing. It was a rare treat. Fourth, don't take on debt if you can avoid it. Certainly don't take on debt that isn't going to produce an improved asset, like an education, for example. Nothing is more crippling to a person's financial goals than unnecessary debt, the kind of debt you get by spending money on stupid stuff to impress people. If you're living off of one income, unnecessary debt is something you really can't afford. It's important to note, though, there's a difference between necessary debt. That's a whole different deal. Purchasing an affordable house for your family to live in, taking out student loans to go back to college, taking out a loan on a credit card to get an education, these are all examples of justifiable necessary debt. You're gonna improve your life, you gotta take out some debt sometimes. So taking out a loan to buy a brand new vehicle, maybe not so smart. I remember advising one lady who was a single mom with 2 kids who was deep in debt and went out and bought a brand new car because it was embarrassing for her daughter, for her mom to show up at school in this old car. You guys, you gotta train your kids better than that. You gotta teach them better values than that. You don't wanna be buying luxury cars. You don't wanna even be buying new cars. Don't go into debt for this kind of stuff. Save up some money, buy that car that you can afford. Great. If you got to go into a little debt for a house, okay, but only for one that's just as much as you got to have. Keep the house small. Make it the smallest house in a nicer neighborhood. So you don't have to get into unnecessary debt. Please avoid these things. Keep your budget in check. Fifth, pay yourself first. And I would say, really, I should probably put that first. Pay yourself first. Before you set aside any money for non-essentials, set money aside for investing. In fact, take it off the top of your paycheck. Most people make the mistake of investing what they have left over rather than setting aside money to invest right from the beginning. If you only invest what you have left over, hey, it usually isn't going to be that much. The temptation to spend money, it just is overwhelming. So just get it out of your hands as quickly as you can, right off the bat. Humans tend to be hardwired for instant gratification. Let's avoid that at all costs. Set aside money for investing as soon as you get each paycheck in order to ensure you're always investing as much as possible. And if possible, have the money taken out right off the top. Don't even get it in a paycheck. Finally, learning about investing with your partner is an awesome thing. If you're going to successfully save for retirement while living off of a single income, you are going to have to learn to invest, but you should do it together. If you make learning about investing an activity that you can enjoy with your partner, man, it's going to be so much more fun, more entertaining. It's going to be something you can do together your whole life. Learning about investing with your partner is a great way to include them in financial decisions, as well as a great way to ensure that you're both armed with as much information as possible. 2 heads can be better than 1 when it comes to your finances, and if you're able to make this a priority for both of you, you're going to be well on your way to building up enough wealth for a comfortable retirement. In addition, one of you is going to outlive the other. It's very important that the one that sticks around for a while knows what they're doing with that money. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys. Are you living off of 1 or 2 incomes? And if you're living off of 2, can you invest the second one? So leave a comment below with your answer and I'll be sure to follow up with you. And thanks for watching. Now go play. If you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you more about how to live on 1 income, hit the like button and please share this video with your friends, you guys. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. And thanks for watching.